What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Let's Talk About It. I'm here with a special guest, Nikisha. Nikisha, how are you?
I am well, Jimmy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate the time that you took because I know you're a busy entrepreneur. So,
I don't even use the word busy. I'm just doing entrepreneurial life.
I like that, right? And when you're having fun, it's what it is, right? It comes with everything, right?
It is. It's a fun because it keeps you on your toes every day.
Right.
That's what entrepreneurship is, right? It's not the same repetitive over 9-to-5 corporate lifestyle,
Right.
but you get to choose your venture, and that's the freedom.
I think that's also managing time, right? Especially when you have a family, right? It gives you that, it lends to that part of it too as well.
Yes, right? But you have to learn your tools, your systems, right? Because everybody has a system. They just don't know it, but we'll tell them about that today.
I can't. I'm so excited about this, ladies and gentlemen. So, Nikisha, what is a business consultant? Or do you define yourself as a business consultant? Because that's important, because that word can mean a lot of things.
It can be.
Right.
So let me tell you, labels are a thing where you can decipher it however you want, and it's the person who's hearing it.
Correct.
So for me, I'm a certified life and business coach.
Okay.
And I've done that. I think in 2023, I got my certification, and I do business consulting, but my specialty is like systems, workflows, processes. That runs my life.
Right.
But the funny thing about it is I'm in the creative world. Oh. So I work with creative entrepreneurs who do a lot of art, event planning. And when I work with them, they're not very much into systems. Let me tell you, they will fight you.
I can
They'll
imagine.
into like everything, they fight about it. But what they don't realize is if you're in business, you need systems in order to scale and increase your capacity without burning out.
Correct. And that happens a lot.
It does. A lot of people burn out because they don't have a process, or it's all in their head.
Right.
And they're constantly doing it and reinventing the wheel every day, but they don't have to. So for me, being a business consultant is a label I go by, but usually a coach, because my whole job is to help someone become the better version of themselves.
That's important because especially when you're going through life changes and like you said, with businesses, edges and flows and workflow processes and family, right?
Yes.
You need to know how to manage time, and you need to know how to separate different entities as you continue to grow your business, because you're only as good as how much you make.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And if you don't have none of those components involved, you're pretty much at a standstill, and that can, go into some financial hardships.
It can.
Right.
The thing about it is me being a system like guru, this is where I love business development.
Okay.
So it allows me to have 3 companies, right? I have 3 companies.
Okay.
I have 2 daughters. They're 10 and 13. I run my household, right? But in order for me to do this, I have to have processes in place and team members, because trust me, but if I didn't have a system, I couldn't have a team member.
Right.
Right? Because they wouldn't know what to do and how to show up, because I don't have a process in place.
Right.
But it gives me the freedom to have 3 companies and be successful.
Okay.
And I think that's what's key to being an entrepreneur.
Right.
When you get stuck on not having a system, not understanding how to grow, and grow doesn't mean become this big, gigantic, you don't have to do that if you don't choose to.
Right.
But you have to understand, when you have value and you're really good at what you do, you don't have a choice about growth.
No, you don't.
People are going to come to you because they know how valuable and good you are. Therefore, you have to build the foundation of your business to sustain and support them.
Right.
Right? Because if you don't have a process and people are coming in your door and your house is a hot mess, they're walking right out.
Yeah.
Money.
Why do I want to deal with this person?
Exactly. Right. Your negative reviews, cost of business, potential clients.
All downfalls. I love the word value, because you just gave it a complete definition of what that means. Because many throw it out there and say, I'm value. But then you say, okay, what does that mean? What does value mean? Like everybody says I'm value, but what does that actually mean for you? And within 2-3 sentences, you just define what value is for an individual. You guys gotta tap into Nikisha with her coaching. This is, I'm getting, I'm feeling it right now. I'm speaking to you, so this is really good.
Yeah, because think about it. As entrepreneurs, the ones I work with, and a majority of them, they're always in that self mindset. What can I do to make more money? How can I do this? Oh my God, I'm not doing it right. All of those things. But what they forget is why they're doing entrepreneurship. It's to serve. It's to give value. It's to help someone else in their time of need.
Correct.
Right? So as a coach, when I'm working with my clients, they're always in the weaves of, how do I get more flow? How do I get more people in the funnel? How do I get this and that? And I normally ask this one question: how do you make money? Right?
That's very important.
Yes. How do you make money? People would think social media, which they don't like showing up on, all the things. And I go, no, you just have to show up. You have to tell people how you're going to help them. What can you do to help them in their time of need? How do you help them become successful? That's where your value comes into place. There is something I have that my clients require of me. And I come in and I help them. It could be a CRM. Right. It could be guiding them on how to get out there, how to connect, how to build a system. Right. You're networking. You come home with all those business cards. What you gonna do next? Right.
Yeah, sometimes they fall in the car seat. You forget.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have to understand, if you don't have systems in place, you just can't move forward.
Yes. You got to give value, and value is outside of you. It's like you're contributing to someone else's success.
You talk about value, and some get distracted with social media.
Yeah.
Some are afraid of it. Some do it too much, and then there's no return on investment.
Yeah.
So how do you strike that balance when you speak to potential clients about how to table these things to ensure that growth is still happening?
So here's the thing. When you're on social media, you have to realize it's a place for you to tell a story.
Correct.
It's a place for you to connect.
Right.
If you know how to use it well. Right?
Keyword.
Yes. Well, you don't need to overindulge. Right. You don't need to show that you're living the best life. Those are pockets of moment. That's what social media has kind of become.
Right. But
showing up is just telling people the result of what you can create for them. Sometimes you show that. Sometimes you tell the backstory. I wasn't always this person, right? Because we all have a moment where we weren't who we are today.
That's absolutely correct.
But the best marketing is showing up in person, networking.
Right.
Right? Seeing a person, talking to them, understanding, getting curious about who they are, how did they get there?
Right.
Asking these questions that make them speak about themselves. When you connect that way, you've just built trust.
That's key, trust, right? It's hard to find trust in social media today, but if you tell the story behind trust, I think it creates more of like, all right, I'm ensuring this person's going to do right by me.
Yes,
right?
And that's the
security's
first step.
Important. Security's important, right?
But it's getting to know the person, listening,
right?
Being able to ask a question based on what they just told you, and not trying to ask like, I don't know if you have questions in your mind, you come with networking. I don't know any of that, but just actually be dialed into them. Don't think about what you're cooking tonight, where you're going tomorrow. None of that.
Right.
Be present in the moment. Listen to them, because I promise you, they have a story.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, they'll tell you their story. And it's always good, in my opinion.
I love when you said listen, right? Because in the beginning, when I started out with social media, I'm not going to lie to you, I was a little braggadocious, right? Because I was like, yo, I'm doing this, I'm having that. And I'm talking about all the things that I can do, not knowing that I don't give a... Like, I'm supposed to care what someone wants from me. Exactly. So for that, I need to make sure that I tell that story of like, okay, I'm here, I'm doing this, and this is what I can do for you.
Exactly.
And sometimes you have to fall a couple of times to understand what that story looks like, right?
Yes.
And again, this is why someone should call you, hit you up and be like, yo, I need Nikisha to tell me how to guide this.
Yes.
Because it's so important, again, to know what is needed in place to grow your business, right?
Yes.
And social media does have that, right? We always take the low hanging fruit of social media.
Exactly.
Some, I want to be careful with my words, right? Some take it and like they run with it. Oh, this person's doing this and doing that. And then when you look at their checking account,
there's nothing there. They've invested so much time.
Right.
And it becomes a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Not everyone, there are people who are really good at it.
Right.
Right. And you have to know, everyone thinks about monetizing. That's perfectly fine. But in order to monetize, you always have to think about this. If I want $1 million, what value am I willing to give that's worth $1 million?
Right.
It doesn't matter whatever you come up with. When you were younger, people always want to be rich.
Right.
No one ever said, well, what are you willing to create? What are you willing to give so you can get that in return?
That's so important. What are you willing to give to get that in return? Yeah, it's so important.
Yes.
So you and I are both from Brooklyn,
yes,
right?
We are. Brooklyn every day.
Yeah, and we went to Brooklyn College.
Yes.
So what did you get your degree in?
I got in health science.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I was on the pre-med track. I don't even know what track and how I got here.
Well, as you grow, you find what you love, which is what you're doing today.
Oh, this is not
right?
a love story. Let me tell you, where I am today,
Okay.
there was never a love story. All right?
Hey, let's expand on that a little bit.
Science is my background. Since I was 5, I wanted to become a physician, a thoracic surgeon.
Okay.
So I knew where I was going. But I also worked for physicians.
Okay.
That changed my world because their family life was not a family life I desired for myself. There were a lot of challenges, and I knew what I wanted to do would demand a lot of my time.
Right.
And I didn't want to continue the cycle of not being around for my kids and letting them become latchkey kids, because I'm a latchkey kid. I was independent, did everything on my own, had to figure it out.
Right.
But I wanted to be around for my kids. So if they're at school, they call me, I'm available.
Right.
So what happened in 2009, I thought about starting a business. I had an event planner, a friend who's an event planner, and she said, why don't you do like invitations? Because it's a low hanging fruit.
That's when I met you, when you were doing invitation.
Yes.
I think so, 2009.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So I literally started that, and me being who I am, you just tell me one thing and I'm gone. Like I'm just gone. Like I'm very extreme in that. Trademark, names, all of it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
You got that battery on that pack.
Yes.
I'm on it, right?
So when I started my company, the one thing I was missing is my creativity.
Okay.
I'm an analytic. Like I analyze everything. Science teaches you to be an analytic. So the one thought that I carried was I want to be able to walk into a room and design it in my head.
Okay.
I carried that for 10 years. And after 10 years, I succeeded at that. I could walk into any space and I can know colors, I can see visuals, and I do it now in my graphic design company.
Right.
So after that, of course, 2019, me being a low seller in my field, I would do like $1,000 for 100 invites.
Right.
And to me, that was low because we had room for more value. I went to a seminar. This is why I love networking community, because they teach you social proof.
We were talking about that in the back.
Yes. Right. I went to a seminar, and this wonderful graphic designer was charging $10,000. She would do save the dates invites. They $10,000. She wouldn't sit at a computer. She had someone else do it for her. She'll get it and mail it out. And me,
she learned today. She learned today. She did learn today.
Me at home fighting my printer, sitting there doing 3 mock-ups, right? My client picking the one that I really don't want to do. Okay, and doing that for $1,000 and doing so much work behind that. That was when I got ignited. Okay. That's when I got fire in my gut, and I was like, "This is not it. No, right. This is not it for me.
I can do so much better."
Oh my goodness!
Right.
That moment was pivotal. That's when I went on. There's a book I read that I love it religiously. It's called Happy Pocket Full of Money. Happy Pocket Full of Money. This is the book that trust me, this author, which I love, I've given him a lot of money by gifting it, by telling people about it. So many people have gotten it. But it's such a good book because what it does, it teaches you how to give value. It teaches you time doesn't exist. It teaches you all the attributes of increasing your wealth consciousness. That's what people are not realizing.
That is important, the wealth and consciousness of what's going on. Yeah, that is so important.
So that came, and then after that, I did my coaching certification. And all of those added up to something that was so powerful that I don't even know how to even explain. But if you're in my world, you'll understand it. But it's this point where I can analyze my thoughts when I'm having them. You know that voice that creeps up and tells you and you're not doing something right? It's a struggle. It's a fear.
That feeling. Right.
Yes, we all get that, and that's normal. That's human behavior because it's part of survival.
Right.
But today I can hear it and be like, is it true? I question it. And if it's not true, then what am I worried about? Just go do what you got to do.
Right.
There's always a solution to any problem, even before it happens.
Keyword solution, because you're solving answers as you see them, right?
Yes.
And that's why you do what you're doing when it comes to coaching. You have multiple businesses because you're getting to the answers, right?
Yes.
And you can figure it out as you're speaking to somebody, what they're trying to do, what makes sense. And you're saying, okay, if we can move it here, we can move it here. Here it is. Here's what you want. Here's what I'm going to give you in your success, right?
Yes.
I love it. Wow.
Yes.
So your journey is interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? From health and science
From
medicine,
health and science to creativity, coaching.
And now real estate.
Wow. Oof.
Let me tell you.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that
soon. We're on a good journey.
So can you tell me the steps of Business Essential Academy?
Yeah, so my coaching company is called Business Essentials, and we have a Business Essentials Academy.
Okay.
Where we have clients come in, and it's a couple of things. We have a program, and in that program, it's a done for you program.
Okay.
If you want to build your systems, we actually use a certain CRM. We give you teaching on that. We have office hours where we help you put things together in your system. And it kind of helps you go from that fragmented, I'm using this app, to coming into one.
It's a lot, yeah.
Right. When you come in your office or you come to work, you check in and it's one thing, you see your emails in one place. You get everything you need in that one space.
Right.
So that's what it is. But then we have our one-to-one service where we do a done for you.
Okay.
Where we build our clients their CRM, which I kind of love. That's my sweet spot. Because it's already methodical. I know what it is. I know what people need. I know the flow.
Right.
And I'm easily, all you're updating is your templates, speaking to your people with your voice.
Right.
So with Business Essentials Academy, which we love calling it Be Academy, right? Be who you are. I want you to always be who you are, but I want you to know that what you're serving is required and needed. Give it order. When someone stands on your door knocking, give them a red carpet experience.
Yeah, you have to.
Don't give them a choppy experience. When they submit the form, it says thank you. And you're like, well, did you get the form?
Right. What does that mean, actually?
Yes.
Right.
So we have a whole process. We teach you how to build a nice thank you page. We give value before they buy in. How do you constantly give value so someone knows you're not only in it for the money, but their well-being as well?
That is so important. And, through the conversation that we're having, you mentioned this word many times. CRM. It is so important for you to have, if you're an entrepreneur, to use a CRM. I know some that don't use it. I know some are still using spreadsheets.
Yeah.
I get it. I respect it. But now that time is so important, there are some CRMs that can just talk for you as you continue to grow your business.
Yeah.
So please, if you're not using a CRM, you should start using one. Again, I get it. There's expenses involved having a CRM, but any CRM is good. It's just how much time you put into it, right?
Here's the thing. You think it's an expense, but I don't think it is.
Well, some will make that. I don't think it's an expense.
No, right? Some people will.
Right.
Listen, a lot of people will say things and they will always make it about money. Right. But I'm going to be honest. It's never about money. It's the fear. It's the fear of change. And it's because I don't know it.
Right.
If I don't know how to even build a CRM, let me make it really clear to everyone. Before I became before I became this guru in systems, I didn't have a system. I didn't know what that was.
Right.
I didn't have one. CRM, when I started the one that I love and I use, I wanted to pull out all my hair, and there I had more hair than I have now. And it was like,
she's keeping it real.
Okay, I'm going to be really real with you.
Right.
But I started it. And then when I hired someone to help me, and it triggered, it just helped me go, oh, this is how you do it.
Right.
And then I became really good at it, but I had to keep practicing it.
Right.
And I knew the benefit of it. And for me, it was a benefit because when I have people walking in my door, I want my clients or potential clients to have a really good experience.
Right.
I want them to go through a funnel. I want when my emails are speaking to them, it sounds like me.
Right.
I want them when they get on a call with me, they're like, oh, this email and you felt like it was the same person. The same personality is showing up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So a CRM is that. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, you have to invest in your growth. There's no way without it.
Right.
Money is considered a flow. It comes and it goes. It's supposed to do that. It is its job. It is why it was created.
That is very true.
If you want to save, you have to learn how to create passive cash flow. And that's where real estate comes in. That's what that comes in. But you got to understand, money comes in and goes. It's not something that's, if you're holding on to it tight, I promise you're not making any more.
No, you're not. And that's why I say CRMs are so important. I've gotten comfortable with my database this year, and that's helped elevate my growth. Because I actually took the time. And I would talk about, get a CRM. I would never talk to my database, not knowing there are some tangibles there, because when you speak to that person speaks to the other person, and then boom, it just starts to grow. Like, I had some faults with it, and I'm admitting, CRMs are so important. Because I'm more involved with my CRM today.
Yes.
I've seen that growth happen. So
You've seen it. And that's the thing. Once you actually try it and do it, you start to realize the benefit, the time efficiency, the ability that you can increase without burnout.
Absolutely. So I know you've been invited to a lot of live webinars, but more importantly, what is it like networking? Because you built, you are where you are today because of the things you put in front of people. But how do you know which networking group you want to be part of, or you want to join, or how do you bring folks together from all different parts of businesses and you're placed there to talk about your growth?
It always starts with, how can I serve, right?
Okay.
How can I serve? Where are my people? Where can I go in the room, be with them, understand their story, and be of value to them?
Right.
So when I step into a room, how can I express this? I want it to be the point where my spiritual being shows up first, to the point when I walk in, you know I'm there, right? My red hair does it for me, but trust me, more or less, my energy is big.
Okay.
And it's important. So I'm in different arenas. I'm in the coaching world. We have a big world there. I'm in real estate. I'm in the creative world. I go to galas and parties. And when I walk in a room, the one thing is I want to meet the people who have good energy. And we always find each other. And networking for me is about connecting. It's not about making money. You have to understand networking is your net worth. The reason it is because when people see you, trust you, you're open, you're speaking to them, you're going to be on top of mind. When you're on top of mind and some opportunity comes up and they know you're a good fit, they're going to email you. They're going to text you. They don't have no other choice because you are right there in their head.
Top of mind.
Top of mind.
Right.
That is how I got on my webinars. That's why I'm here today, because the way I show up is just, how can I be of value? I walk in a room, I'm speaking to someone. Before, when I was on my way here, my friend was just released from her job, and it's a blessing. She calls me. She says, if you hear of anything, and I ask her questions because I want to know, what is it she's looking for?
Right.
Now she's on top of mind. Right. Now I know if this opportunity comes up, I'm going to connect you. And I don't connect by saying, here's a referral, here's an email.
No. You got to put more into it, right?
Yes, I actually do an email, and I put both subjects on it. And I go, here's an introduction to my friend. Here's an introduction to the other person. And I'm like, I think you should chat. Right. I don't even give it, I don't leave it open for someone to be like, I didn't see the email, I forgot it, or whatever.
No, it's right there in the subject.
Warm connection.
You have to see it. Yeah, you're going to see it.
Warm connection. And I love it, because once I started practicing it, people started practicing it with me. So my wealth manager does that. He'll connect me with people. He'll be like, yo, I think this person's good for you. And he'll connect us. And I'm like, bring it my way. Keep bringing it my way.
Right.
Connection and networking goes hand in hand. And it's one of the specialties, but it became a specialty because of my listening skills. Right. And listening for me is so important, because I'm not trying to get the next word out. I really am curious about the human being, and I'm really curious how they got where they got.
Right.
Because I know for a fact they weren't always thinking about this. When you were younger, never said, I'm going to be sitting here in a podcast. None
of us did, right? It just so happened now we're talking to each other. We're listening. We're listening to where we can lend to one another. Look, you have a lot going on, but I see you also do a lot of things when it comes to real estate.
Oh, I love it. I'm excited.
I can't wait to hop into this subject with you. What made you get into commercial / individual real estate? Okay,
so my husband and I had a company when we met, when we got married. We had single family real estate. So we've invested. We had properties in Allentown, PA. And recently we got rid of those.
Right.
And when we got rid of those, that was a revenue stream coming in. We had cut that revenue stream when we got rid of those assets. So we have our normal stocks and bonds as assets. But recently, in October of last year, my husband was let go of his job after working 15 years from his W-2. Oh, that was a good one. That's a whole nother story you got to bring me back for. Wow. So when that moment happened, me having my certification in coaching, it wasn't a fearful moment. It was like, finally, you get to find your freedom again. You get to find your value, because when you're working somewhere so long, you become automatic. You
Right.
become a bot. It's a very interesting dynamic.
I've been there. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
So that release allowed him to go, you know what? I don't want to be in a position that I lose my W-2 and I don't have other streams.
Right.
Right. So he went on this real estate journey for commercial property because he wanted to up his game.
Right.
And he did some group coaching. And then he was trying it by himself, but he was like, he needs help. He needs the materials, the things.
Right.
So what happened is he found a community, but they was like, we need your wife to be on the phone with you, your partner, right? They were qualifying him, which I'm very good at, because in coaching, we qualify people because we don't need everyone in our world who's not ready to do the work.
And that's important, right? You need to be surrounded by people who want to move forward with those type of projects, right?
So when they had me on the call, they were speaking to me and I understood what they were doing because I have my own coaching company. Right. But they were telling me about the person who run it. And the person who run it, their mindset is about action. It's about getting the job done. It's about giving resources, about giving value.
Right.
And they were speaking my language. Once again, someone speaking my language. So of course, guess who joined my husband on his real estate, his commercial real estate? I did. I was like, I'm all in.
Yeah, why not? Right.
And what I love about it, from that moment, we learned that we're accredited investors, which I didn't even know we were. I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I'm very familiar with it.
Yes,
right?
I didn't know it was a thing.
Private banking world.
Yes, I didn't know.
Others,
Yep, I didn't know that. And then we had 2 limited partnerships where we invest in these multi-million opportunities.
Right.
Do you even know that I didn't know we had the assets to do that? But my husband, he did, and he was doing his stuff and he found it. So
you have collateral.
Oh my gosh.
You can leverage it all the time.
Yeah. Right. So when I got exposed to that, I was like, oh, we are doing this. And I love it because in the past, I wouldn't have been prepared to do this because of my fear.
Right.
Because of all the negative thoughts about what can go wrong.
Right.
Where today I don't have what can go wrong. I know what can go right. I know there's a solution all the time when there's a problem. So we have 2 LP opportunities that we invested with 2 amazing properties. One in Vero Beach that we love. Like we always vacation there.
Makes sense.
And then another one in one of our areas of interest, Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
And
Savannah is growing.
It is.
It's like, I went there one time. I was like, oh my God, there's actually a community that is brewing. Coming from the East, right? You're like, how often am I going to go to Savannah? Like, I'd rather go to Atlanta before I go to Savannah, right? But now, actually, you know what? I actually want to go to Savannah and see what's going on, especially it's growing ongoingly. I see that a lot. I see a lot. Social media-wise, I see a lot, and I see more talking about Savannah.
So that's one of the things we have. But here's the thing for me, Jimmy. The mission of doing this as a woman of color, there are a lot of people that I don't see that looks like me. And with my coaching capabilities, I want to be able to introduce this more to my community. Right. I also want to help them understand how can they get there. Right. So we kind of work with our seasoned people, our seasoned W-2s who only have a W-2 and they have the assets. They have the IRA. Let's move that to a self-directed IRA. Let's get that into other opportunities to bring that revenue into your household. Let's create a trust for a legacy.
Right.
Oh my God, we're doing all of that.
To your point, that flow is so important, right? Because now anything that goes on, you're like, I'm good because I know next month I will have certain things to help keep float of my family. And when you see some of that happening at times, you feel like you need to build more on top of it, right? It's just like you want to acquire more properties, you want to acquire more businesses, you want to bring more and you want to bring more to your community who are like-minded like you, because then once you get the community growing, you grow as well. And that's so important. Like back in the days, we used to be like, I'm not telling this person this, I'm not telling that person that, right? We grew up like that. And now it's like, you're not going to grow being selfish. And I give out a lot of gems as I continue to do my mortgage journey, but I always feel like, share it. It doesn't matter. I promise you, you can put all this stuff out there. Some will not even want to know how to do it. Will not do it. Will not do it. And then some like us will be like, you know what? This picked up, I picked up this. This is what's going on. I want to be part of this person. I'm motivated. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So kudos to you and your husband for finding these steps to grow your portfolio today, right?
Oh my goodness. I'm excited, I'm excited. And there is no fear for me. Right. Because anything can happen. That is life. Right. But I like the fact that a lot of positive things can happen. And it is growth. Right. And when you grow, you help others around you grow. And that's what I love about it. We can acquire assets. We'll make revenue on those assets.
Right.
But how can we contribute? How can we donate? How can we give back to the organizations we believe in?
That's so important.
In order for me to give, I have to give from a place of abundance.
Right.
Scarcity never served me. It never did. I don't think it serves anyone.
It serves anybody. It shouldn't. Right. It shouldn't.
Because when you're empty, how can you give from an empty cup? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So how do you work? How do you open up your abilities? How do you decide? A lot of people say things are hard. I have a different mantra. So my mantra is, everything is easy until I make it hard. Everything is easy until my brain goes, this is hard, or my brain does a lot of jacked up stuff and it makes it hard. Because if you really look at life, all it is about a conversation. Start a conversation. If you're interested, contact me, ask me, well, I'm interested in learning what this is. No one's saying you have to invest right away, but you might be open to learning.
Right.
You might be open and understanding what is an accredited investor.
Right.
You might be open and go, well, how can I have this opportunity? And that's why I decided to be in the group so I can learn.
Right.
And then I'm going to be happy to help anyone
because
else.
you're going to definitely pass it on to others.
Of course.
Right. It's just like, look, I learned this, guys. This is what's happening. Some are growing their businesses. This is how they're doing it. If they're not going to tell you, it's okay. I'm going to help you get there.
I'll be happy to.
Right.
I don't have no problem sharing, because when I share, I know I'm going to receive, and I don't ever want to receive from the person I shared with. It's never that relationship.
No.
I will give you all and not expect anything from you. But I know when I turn around, I'm going to get all of it back from everywhere else that it comes.
Right.
It's life for me. That is like
Speak that affirmation. Yeah,
Yes.
it's life. I love it because, like you said,
it's
good is going to come.
Always.
Good's definitely going to come from it.
Always. I've seen it in a point where I remember in August, my 2 girls fell off their horse. One of them is fine and recovered.
Her girls is riding horses, so you already know.
Yeah.
She's on a different tax bracket.
Yes. And then one is at a spine doctor. And the same time when my youngest birthday, which is in August, our whole roof fell in. All these things happen. And not one moment was I like, oh my God, my world is ending.
Right.
Every moment when we had to go to the doctor and we kept going from one doctor to the next, I was like, tell me what you're going to discover, because there's a reason we're on this path. Right? I was happy they fell because they've been riding for 2 or 3 years. They never fell. They needed to experience the fall to know what it felt like rather than when they're older. I like that. And now they can still get back on. They still are into it.
Right.
Our ceiling fell down. Guys, listen, put it back up. Thank God we had good people in our life for that. And then we got some like Sonos put in, speakers. I was like, look at the gift that I'm getting from all of this.
Right. So,
but once again, it can only be possible because of the choices we're making and the way we see it.
And the people we hang with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the people we hang with.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't get here by myself.
Right. I always say that as you get older, you realize the important folks that you need to be around, right? Because that negativity, I leave it alone. I'm like, I get it. I respect it.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
But that's all right. You can stay right here. I'm going to be around someone who's near and dear to me and who is also learning at the same time, because I always feel you're always learning.
Yeah.
It's just a habit, right? You're always learning because you always want to improve your status, whatever you got going on in life.
Exactly.
Not just money, monetary, more or less like loving, spiritual, fitness, like all these different things that help you be who you are as a human being. So that's what you want to be around. And I think that's important as well as if you explained it.
Exactly. And wait, let me tell everyone the secret about negativity. There's a secret. People don't know about it.
Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
When you're positive, you repel negativity because they don't want nothing to do with you. Do you not understand? I could walk in a room and I promise you, anyone negative, they would never approach me because I'm too positive. They won't approach me.
That's deep.
My people, oh my God, we find each other and we're like in bliss.
Yeah, let's go, right.
We're like in bliss. We're talking about what we're doing, what we can do.
Right.
We're networking.
Right.
And then we're going to meet after this and we're going to have some fun. That's my people. But the negative people don't ever come up to me because in their mind, the story they have created is, she's too much for me. That's too much positive and joy. I don't want to be around that.
Right. That's their lame excuses, right?
Yeah. So I don't ever have to worry about them.
Wow.
It's amazing. That's the secret, guys, just in case. So get your energy up and you don't have to worry about that at all.
Boom. She's dropping gems right here. Thank you so much for talking about this. I think this is why I wanted you to be on the podcast, because, you know, coming from a world of real estate, we always see the ups and downs, especially these last 2 years, where real estate was in a recession for some.
Yeah.
And I had to understand, like, look, I had to fall. I took some hits, and I'm okay with that. But now I feel like my value, it's unattainable, right? I know what I can do.
Exactly.
And I'm actually making more money telling people, no, I don't want to do this with you anymore.
Exactly.
Because I know where I want my direction to be with those who are around me and my income. So I always feel like conversations like we're having today will continue to enlighten others to be like, all right, cool. Get out of this negative cult that you're in.
Right.
Come on this side. Let's go get this money. Let's go have some fun. Let's go vacation. Let's go do whatever we can do, right?
There's some beautiful places out there waiting for you. I know some of them. I love them.
I hear you. So talking about all this positivity, entrepreneurship, what's your favorite restaurant?
Oh, Lupa in Berkeley Heights.
Okay, Lupa.
Adolfo, Luca. That's like my family. I go there for my birthday. I think my anniversary is today.
Okay.
So I might
Happy
be hitting
anniversary.
it up.
Okay.
Thank you. 16 years married.
16 years. I love it.
So Lupa in Berkeley Heights is one of my Adolfo. So they're my people. We're September babies.
Okay.
September babies are very hardcore. We're black and white. We don't know a lot of grayscale
My wife is a September baby.
Yes, she is. So you know. So I met them when I had went and celebrated, and I love their food because it's authentic, it's clean, and for me, I need that.
That's important.
It is for me. So I go there. It's really personable. So I would definitely say Lupa in Berkeley Heights.
Lupa. Okay, good.
Yes.
So you wrote a quote I saw on your social media. I'm going to share with those. Love it. Don't let fear of change keep you from making decisions that could transform your life and business. Embrace uncertainty and take the leap.
Yeah. So good.
I love the quote. How did you come up with that? Like, I mean, yes, we just talked about it, but like, did you fall and get back up and then you felt like this is what life is about?
In my transition, when I was reading Happy Pocket, right, it was about abundance. And I couldn't understand that because I come from scarcity. How could you say money's unlimited? All I was told when I was younger is money doesn't grow on trees.
Right.
When money's made out of trees, hello, just in case you didn't know that.
Right.
And in that moment, there was this pivotal moment where the more I kept reading the book, the more I would focus on the good. So one day it tells you money comes from everywhere. It's always in your mailbox. I'm like, no, it's not. You know, I don't get it all the time.
Right.
I don't pay attention to it. And there was a moment where I got a check, or not even a check yet. I just got my old IRA asking me for a new address. And I'm like, why they need it? I left my old job in 2011. This was 2021. Why do they need my address? I have nothing with them. When I learned that I had $8,000 with them. So there was an $8,000 check in the world with my name on it. I didn't know was in the world. Right. And what I learned from that moment is that 1, abundance was real. 2, I kept playing it so small in my business because my husband for the last 10 years in my business was carrying us financially.
Right.
He was supporting us, and he got us from Brooklyn to Jersey in a house. We have 2 kids. He still does a really amazing job.
Right.
But I was playing it small, and I was playing it small trying to prove that my business, if I make money, high volume, low cost, that I can contribute, but I wasn't. And I said, if he can do all of this, why am I playing it small? What's the point of me doing this? This is a waste. Why am I living like this? This is not me. And then I decided, no longer will I play it small. I'm going to play it big. And that's when I started to have a relationship with fear and ego. I had to learn that fear wasn't real. Real fear is where there's a bear looking at me and we're in front, and I know for a fact it can snipe me out. That's fear.
That's fear, right?
But sitting down thinking about me showing up on social media and doing a post and people are going to judge me and hate me, that's not fear.
That's not fear, nah.
That's just me.
You're right. That's your conscience.
That's just ego worried about somebody judging me.
Someone's going to bruise something.
Right. And in reality, no one's judging me. I'm judging myself.
Right.
I'm questioning myself. I'm questioning how I speak, how I look. Then I'm thinking someone's going to judge me because I don't like something about me.
Right.
I had to learn that was not going to serve me. So what I had to do, I have like another statement, partying in the unknown. That visual for me is a door. And when you open it, it's pitch black. But I promise you, when I walk through that door, there is a party waiting for me. And it is freaking exciting.
It's like carnival?
Hell yeah. Yes. So for me, fear is not a thing anymore.
Right.
I'm okay with it. Fear doesn't exist for me because there is no fear unless my life's at risk. And even then, I live such a high life that if I leave today and it's done, I did this. This was like my epic moment.
Right.
You know, this morning I had time with my husband, epic moment. Every day I live my life to the moment, fullest.
Right, to the fullest. I always say life is good. Life is completely good. It's always good
because I choose that. I choose to focus on that.
Right.
So fear for me, it literally is just something I no longer worry about. I'm just going to do it and see what happens. I'm just going to ask that uncomfortable question. I'm just going to call a broker and say, hey, I'm doing real estate. I see you have a property. Are you willing to sell it at this price when it's not listed?
You only know by asking, right?
That is it.
Right.
That is it.
Wow.
That is what life is.
Right.
A lot of people make life harder. I told you, life is easy until you make it hard.
Right, until you make it hard. Wow. Nikisha, thank you so much for coming on and Let's Talk About It. You just dropped a wealth of knowledge. I promise you guys, tapping into this podcast, you're going to learn a lot about who Nikisha is, what coaching means, what value means, and definitely understand the purpose of a CRM. She talked about that lengthily. Again, thank you so much for hopping on the Let's Talk About It. Yeah. Please subscribe, like, share, do all that good stuff. Yes. But Nikisha, more importantly, where can someone find you?
So one place you'll find me is Instagram. Okay. So my handle is nk.be.academy.
Right.
You are welcome to DM me. I am always in a DM on a video. I'm gonna let you know I bring the game. I have no problem showing up in your DM with a video. You can do all your voice and texting. I don't care, but I'm gonna show up in video because I'm just good at that.
Right.
They can also, if you DM me and you have more questions, we'll very much invite you into our community because we're building our real estate community. You have questions, just ask.
Right.
I'm always open to answering it. You know what I mean? So just come and ask.
She's making herself available. Again, thank you so much for hopping on the Let's Talk About It.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, everyone. Thank you for having me, Jimmy.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.